Unleash the power of knowledge and connect with the heartbeat of the African diaspora. Download our African Diaspora News Channel app now on Google Play and Apple App Store. Stay informed with authentic and diverse perspectives, breaking news, and cultural insights. Immerse yourself in a community that celebrates unity, resilience, and progress. Experience the vibrancy of the diaspora at your fingertips. Don't miss out. Empower your perspective today. Search African Diaspora News Channel and join the conversation.
I reported on Alpachino Mignott, a 25-year-old Jamaican rugby player who came to Canada with his team to play in a tournament and went missing in the Niagara-on-the-Lake area in October. I had the opportunity of sitting with his mother, Meshanda Nesbeth, and we had a discussion about where we're at with the case, what's going on, what she requires in order to have closure, amongst many other things. But before playing the interview, let me just remind you of the story that I covered. Take a look. We have a missing Jamaican man who came down from Kingston, Jamaica on October 16th to play in a rugby match, and he has not been seen since. Take a look at this, and then we'll talk about it further.
He left Jamaica on the 16th of October. He was to play a match on the 19th. He came off with the rugby team because they were supposed to play a match with the Canadian team. He did play the match on Saturday. I've spoken to him Saturday night.
Nesbeth tells me at around 3 a.m. she got a call from Alpachino's worried girlfriend who lives in the United States. She said they made plans to meet up, but he wasn't picking up her calls.
So the last time when he spoke to her, it was to tell her that he was on an Uber. They were texting to say that, okay, I'm coming off the Uber now. See you soon. And that was it.
A missing persons report has since been filed. And according to Niagara police, that rideshare vehicle dropped him off at the Queenston neighborhood near the Niagara River at around 10:45 p.m. on October 19th. Nesbeth says officers told her they checked the nearby river, scanned local hotel footage, and spoke to the driver, but have come up empty. Nesbeth flew into Toronto from Kingston, Jamaica on Friday with hopes that she will be reunited with her son.
I will go wherever it takes to find my son.
Now we'll take a look at the discussion I had with Meshanda Nesbeth, and then we'll talk about it further. Take a look. Hey everyone, so I'm here with Meshanda Nesbeth. She is Alpachino's mother, and she's going to provide an update on where we are at with the case of Alpachino going missing in October. So Meshanda, thank you so much for agreeing to meet with me. Before we get started, I just want to again offer my sincerest condolences. I'm really sorry for everything that you're going through. And I know the audience would love to hear an update on what is going on. So what we know so far is that you received word on November 26th saying that a body had been found. And tell us exactly what they said to you when they contacted you.
So good night again, Emma. Thank you for having me here. Okay, so on the 26th of November, I was contacted by Detective Kelly to inform me that there was a body that was found in the Youngstown district, Buffalo, New York. The body is bodily decomposed, and judging from the heights, the clothing, she presumed that it would be Al, because she said that's the only rugby player that was reported missing. At the time, I didn't really want to accept it because, I'm still hopeful that it wasn't him, but by the examiner that was doing the autopsy, send her a description of a tattoo that they saw on his left shoulder, which I wasn't aware of the tattoo. I don't really know what was on it, but I was in communication with the girl that he was in communication with. And I asked her if she knew what kind of tattoo was on his shoulder. And what the phrase that she sent back to me, it was just a confirmation for what they have seen or what they could have made out so far, because the body is badly decomposed. So I am here waiting concerning the DNA because they have to do the DNA to make sure 100% that, it's him, But for me, the tattoo is something that confirms for me, right? So that's where it is right now.
And so they said to you that the DNA test will take a few months, correct?
Well, first she said that the DNA would have taken 45 weeks, and that was from call it December. So I would believe that by the beginning of January, it would be completed. I reached out to her like about 2 weeks, 3 weeks back, asking her if there's any update on the DNA, and she said that it would take much longer than the normal 4 to 5 weeks. I spoke to her. She sent me a message on WhatsApp. I think it was day before yesterday, to say that she apologized. The DNA is going to take up to 3 months, right? And I'm like, this is unacceptable because when he was missing, I mean, I had hope that he is alive, right? I had hope and trust in God that, at some point I'll hear something. So, you're worried, but not so worried. But no, it's like, no, him body found. No, I want to get closure. No, I just want to put him to rest. But it is far more distressing and frustrating right now because I did not know that DNA would take so long. Now, with this anticipation of waiting up until March early, as what she was saying, that she would believe that by that time I would get the DNA. But honestly, I just need this to end in terms of getting him buried, is like, that's the closure that I am actually looking for right now, to get the body, bring it back home, and it seems like it's just taking longer than or it's supposed to take.
Yeah, I totally agree. I do know that they do say, depending on the condition of the body, if it's badly decomposed, it may take a little longer. What I would hope is that they would expedite this so that, you can get the closure that you need. It sounds to me like you're fairly certain that it is Alpo, that this is his body. What I also want to know is, what do you think happened? Because he had gone missing at Queenston and Kent Street, which is in Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario, but his body was then found in Buffalo, New York. So what do you think really happened? I know the police are saying they have their, I guess, their theories, but what do you think happened based on what they're saying to you and knowing who your son is?
All right, so for me, what the detective is saying is that they don't believe that there is any foul play to it, right? She said that she believed that he was on a raft and he was trying to go across, and he developed difficulties and fall in the water and drowned. Now, I don't believe that. I asked the questions, because I asked her what kind of clothing that they found the body in, and one other thing why I do not believe that he fell in the water and drowned, because I know that him can swim at some point, right? And even if him fall into the water, he'll be trying to get out, right? So for me, why my theory, I presume and I believe that he was killed. This is what I believe. Why I say that is because when I made a post on Facebook, asking my contacts to share, with person in Canada, say my son was missing and stuff like that, I got a call. And the person called and they asked me, this is Meshanda? And I said, yes. And the person said to me that I have a message for Alpachino. So I'm like, okay, he was missing for a couple of days. So maybe he's with that person and he gave that person a message to give me. And he said to me, I am going to cut his throat and throw him in the river. So I was like, why would you want to do that? So him say, that is what me I tell him I'm going to do, so you can look out. I didn't post anything concerning river, right? I was just saying that my son went up there and he went missing, right? I made a report. Detective Kelly is aware of that. I made a report to the Jamaica police force also to let them know that somebody called me and basically threatening to say that they're going to kill my son, right? Now, for me, my son is the first time going to Canada. He has traveled to America. He has traveled to Mexico. He has been to Hong Kong, San Francisco, those places, right? So it's not like him not used to traveling. It's the first he's going to Canada, right? And for my son is like a person like this. Him now will just go out and just talk to a random person and say, hey, I want to go across, how best can you help me? This is my belief, and this is what I presume. Anything he's communicating with this person that he believes, he can trust, and he knows, right? Because he's very trustworthy. But for me, he would get some information to say, okay, then instead of going to the border, go to Queenstown and Kent Street. And for my experience going up there, seeing how it's situated, the border is on the right, Queenstown and Kent Street is on the left. You go around the corner there. Going up there and seeing all of that, right? There's a part up there when you go down to the river that you lose all communication, because they said that you would be closer to America side. It did not show that he moved from Kent Street. It showed that it moved from Queenstown to Kent Street, but it did not show that he moved any further, right? Being up there looking, somebody had to come with me to show me directly where the track is, right? Because even when we went in the day, I could not see it. I went there, I walk on the track, going through the track, and because the leaves are, fall off the tree, so you can see it a little bit better, but you still have to look good because it's not visible like that. Somebody has to lead him to wherever he was going. Him don't take up himself and just go like that. You see that jacket, that picture that we're posting with the GoFund on him with the jacket, that's the jacket he bought when he went up there, right? He would not just go off by himself in a sweat top and a sweat bottom. Jamaica, where our climate is different. So asking the detective of the clothing that the body was found in, right? She said that they found the body in the Jamaica sweat top and bottom. So I'm like, that can't be, right? Because if he's going out on a raft, he would have on a jacket, right? There's no knapsack because he would have his knapsack with him. There's no personal item that was found. I don't know if them find any money in their pocket, but they said there's no personal item that was found. So my thing is, I want to find out really and truly, because this is what I am getting from the detective. I can't say everything is true and I can't say it's not true. But wherever the body was found, I would like to know really what kind of clothing. Did he have on any shoes? Did he have any socks? Because these are the things that you have to look at. How him dress. This is my belief. I don't get the evidence yet, but this is my belief that them kill him. And I'm trusting God that the autopsy will show everything that is hidden, despite how decomposed the body is. So I am just here waiting, and it's really hard. It's really hard because my son is a kind person. If everybody would talk about him, can say he has a kind heart. He wants to help people. He not likes the people suffer. He not likes the people hungry. From once he can help, that's what he will try to do.
Yeah, and just to go back a little more, the reason why he was even in that area is because he had planned to meet up with a woman that he had been in communication with who lived in Buffalo, New York, or in Western New York. And the idea was that he was supposed to be taking this boat to go across to meet up with her, correct?
Honestly, I can't tell you about the boat because I don't know what was the arrangement was, right? Because I am just going off of what I hear, right? Is that, both of them was planning to meet up. I don't know how we plan to reach over there, but I would assume that, he's planning to get some help to go across. Then believe that he was planning to go across the river right? I don't know if by boat, I don't know. As gone to what they're saying that he was planning to swim cross.
That is absolutely, I
Yeah,
can't even accept that because, again, we're talking about a young man who's not from Canada, who had just come to Canada, who had only been in Canada for a few days, and describing the track that you took, because they took you through the track where they thought that he may have gone across at nighttime, because I'm also a Niagara resident. So at
yeah,
nighttime, there's no way somebody would have had to have led him there if that, in fact, is what happened. And there are records of people going across from that area for sure,
mhm,
but not by themselves. And
right.
certainly not swimming because,
No,
of course, being somebody that's not even from Canada, not from Niagara, how would he even know which way to go to even swim or go there by himself? Or even, I believe there's some narrative that he may have rented the raft, and tried to go across by himself. All of that to me doesn't make sense. But what's more alarming to me is the
mhm,
phone call that you received from this person who said that they were going to do what it is they said they were going to do and throw him in the river. And like you said, you never mentioned anything about a river in your
no,
post. So this person, obviously, for me anyway, that needs to be investigated. So the idea that the law enforcement just wants to chalk it up as, him trying to just cross the river and then unfortunately he drowned. To me, I feel like they need to open this up and really do a thorough investigation to see what happened, especially because you received that threat.
yeah, yeah, it's more than that because while I was in Canada, we're gonna do a own local investigation, right? So I'm just trying to put the ends together. And I asked a question. I said, did anyone went to the Airbnb to check footages to see if anybody came there to visit? Because if he's planning to go across, he would need help, right? So did anyone go to the Airbnb to check and see, if anybody came there to meet up with him, and see how the plan would have gone? I was told that no, nobody went there. And I called the Airbnb. I spoke to a gentleman, not the owner of the place, but by communicating, he was a bit skeptical, didn't really want to speak to me or anything like that. And, I started to talk to him as a parent, because I asked him if he has, kids. And he said that yes. I said, I only have one child. And I said, he came up and he spent a couple of days there and he's missing. And, I'm really, really worried. I don't understand where he is because normally he would have called me. 1 week now pass and him not call me. You understand? And by talking to him and stuff like that, him start to say to me that, um, oh yeah, I remember 3 Indian men came and a female. And he asked me, did the girl his girlfriend? I'm like, I don't know of that. You understand? So when I asked that, he said that he would talk to the owner for the place to see if I could come and look on the footage. Unfortunately, when he called the landlord said that the batteries were dead on those days. So I'm like, 4 days you have somebody staying in your place and battery went dead.
And if you're somebody that runs an Airbnb, you want to make sure that you're protecting your property. So you would have cameras. If not, it's in certain parts of the home internally, you definitely will have cameras externally,
Right.
especially in Brampton, which is where
Mhm.
he was staying, correct? Because there's a lot of home invasions and auto theft that's going on right now there. So, actually, not even just right now, over the past couple of years. And especially in that time of the month, in October, going through to the end of this year, it ramped up. So, there's no way that this person wouldn't have cameras on an Airbnb. So, I find that also very suspicious.
Yes, I mean, and I'm like, this, so I said to the person, I said, so you want to tell me, say, at no point in time, I am here for 4 days and you know, you don't have any footages of me being in your place, right? Anything could happen, right? And he was like, oh, I remember he asked me to change the battery and stuff like that. So I said, okay then. Did you change the battery? He said, yes. I said, which day did you change the battery? Is the first day, second day, third day, or the fourth day? Oh, I don't remember. I'm like, really? So you know, I have no memory of which day did you change the battery on the camera. I believe that the detective them need to go there and look on these footages to see, because you need to rule out everything, right? You need to rule out if anybody came there, who visited him, you know, because at the end of the day, it's not a case of somebody, another black man who are run off, because this is my perspective of it. It's another young youth, black youth from a different country who want to go America, you know, so them now look on it in that sense to say it can be a possibility of a murder, right? Them a look on it to say, oh, he may try to run off and him get caught and drowned and, you know, we're sorry and whatever. But I do believe that this needs to be investigated more than how it seems, more than what the eye see, because I believe that there's more to it. You understand me? If it was, well, their kids, I'm sure they would want to find out everything. We want to find out. We want the truth. We don't want to just hang on and say, okay, you know, I try to cross over and him dropping in the water and drown. I'm not accepting that. That is not facts.
I'm not accepting it either. And you are absolutely right when that narrative that wants to be spun, which is saying this is another young Black man who just want to run away from a broken home or being lured to something, that's not good for them. It doesn't fit the narrative of Al Pacino because number one, he's not from here. He came from Jamaica. He came for a reason. He came to play rugby. Like you said, he's traveled to other parts of the world and has come home. So it doesn't make sense that he would come here and be wanting to run away from not going back home to Jamaica. Also, just based on having conversations with you, it sounds like you and him have a very wonderful relationship. So it's not like he's coming from a terrible home situation. So none of those things make sense. There, as far as I'm concerned, there are many holes here, and there are many questions that we want answers for. And just going back to the woman that he was supposed to be meeting up with, because that's also what they said in the news, has she said anything more? Does she know anything more? I know that she had contacted you because he never turned up because he was supposed to meet up with her. But does she had anything else to offer?
What she says, I mean, she's saying that, you know, they were in communication up until the point that he said that he was coming off the Uber, right? Unfortunately, the Uber that he took, unfortunately, that Uber did not have a camera in it, right? So we have to go off of what the Uber driver says.
What did the Uber driver say?
That it was him alone, but in the report it says a shared Uber, right? But when I asked the question, they said it was just him alone in the Uber. She said that him tell her that he's coming off and, you know, see you soon. And she was asking him why he's coming off in that location because he wasn't supposed to come off in that location, right? So she said she don't get back a response from him. So she's been calling him, not getting through. You know, she asked her mother to call him straight because it's a Jamaican number, so she can't call him straight. She'll talk to him on WhatsApp. So that's how I come in play now, where she called me in the morning about 3 o'clock saying that, you know, have you heard from him and stuff like that. So I'm like, if anybody to hear from him, almost you, because I and him in a communication, because I know that they talk very often, you know. So she said she has been trying to get to him and she's not getting through. She has been calling him and that is not like him, you know, and that's where everything just stopped. Me try calling him, not getting through, the phone was ringing, right? Not picking up, stuff like that. And another thing too, a friend of his, you know, called me and he said that he, you know, see video going around saying that it's missing, and he was like, but I spoke to Alpha the Sunday morning. I'm like, so if you speak to him the Sunday morning and we're calling him like after 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock going down to the morning, and he's not answering the phone, and you call him and get him. I said, what time did you call him? He said, 7 o'clock my time. That would have been 8 o'clock Canada time.
So
right?
wait, I'm sorry. So this was after they said he was missing. This friend of his spoke to him the following day. So
Yes,
was it the day after he was reported missing?
no, the Sunday morning, because he left the match the Saturday evening, right?
Right.
And he was heading to her to meet up, whichever way they plan to do it. So she said that she's been calling him from after 10 in the night, Saturday night, going down into Sunday morning. I called him about after 3 in the morning, going up to 4 o'clock. Didn't get him, but the phone was ringing. Called him the Sunday morning. It was 7 o'clock Jamaica time, so it would be 8 o'clock Canada time, because Canada was 1 hour ahead. And he said to me that, him ask him about the match, telling him that him watch the match and him say everything, and him say, me call you back later. So it was just a brief call. So I never really get to talk to him as much, but him say, him said to him, say, him all right, him good, and him will call him back later. And that was the last of it that him talked to him. So even though I spoke to him the Saturday night and the girl talked to him Saturday night, somebody spoke to him Sunday morning. Now I'm saying that judging from where the location was, which is Kent Street, there's a motel right there. Apparently they said that the detective said that they checked the motel, he wasn't there. So if he did not sleep at the motel, where did he sleep? Because he could not sleep outside, because outside is very cold. So where did he sleep? Is either, this is my assumption, is either if he made a plan to go across the night, him go across to America. If he did not make it across the Saturday night, where did he sleep? So that means
if he spoke to his friend at 7 a.m. So he must have been somewhere.
Somewhere. He was somewhere, right?
Which would suggest that he may not have crossed at night.
No.
Right.
He didn't cross over. So I believe whoever pick him up, tell him, because him and the girl share location, right? They tell him to turn off his location. When looking back on the 2 locations that I got, which is Queenston and Kent Street, it showed that he moves from Queenston to Kent Street, right? But it did not show that he moved any further. So if he went down where the river is, it would show that he go down further, and it would stop where the location would end, right? It did not show anything like that. So apparently, this is my assumption, that he went across, somebody pick him up from that location and tell him to turn off the location. As I said, him not going anywhere with nobody that him don't think him can trust. And if it's somebody that somebody when trust introduce him to the people them, somebody knows something. Because no matter how we might look on things, and they might say, oh, there was no witness, there's always somebody that knows something. I believe that he did not go across the Saturday night, and if he was still in the Niagara area, I believe that he would have looked how the area situated and whatever plans they were planning, but somebody knows something, right? Somebody, if he even get a raft, how did he get the raft? He cannot just go and rent a raft like that.
Precisely. And there is a whole process. So something more than one person, I believe, knows something and is not speaking. But more importantly, are the detectives even questioning anybody? And that's the problem. I do not believe that this is just an open and shut case. I don't. And so I think that there needs to be, as I said earlier, a thorough investigation to rule out everything before they just close this case and again try to fit it under that same narrative or stereotype of the young Black man who was just running away and was up to no good. I can't accept that.
I'm saying, okay, as what the detective said, he might fall in the river. So I'm saying, okay, if he fall in the river, he would have on a jacket. The first thinking not to take off the jacket. Why was he in just the rugby top and bottom, the sweat top and bottom, right? The most thing he would try to do is come out of the water, right? How didn't you find him in a jacket? Where is his knapsack? Because he would have his knapsack. So that means that these things are still out there, right? The knapsack is still out there with his personal items. The raft, they have not found a raft, right? To say, okay, this is the raft that he was on, right? No clothes, no fine, nothing, no fine. So it can't just be there. So that means that, all right, then if you go search with the knapsack, then we need to search with the raft, then to make sure say these are the things, because you can't just assume say okay, then he might swim cross. Come on, he's not stupid. He's not an idiot.
So right now where we're at is we are waiting for the DNA results. And then after that, you will then be coming back to Canada to bring
No,
Alpo.
I will be going to America because that's where the body is.
Oh,
So
I
when
see.
when I call the medical center where the body is, they said that they cannot release the body until the DNA has been completed, right? So they're waiting on Canada because I was in Canada and I left a sample of my DNA in Canada. So Canada offered to do the DNA. But as I said, I did not know that this would take so long. But come on, well, 3 months, this past, this come like torture.
What we would like to see now is getting that DNA test so that we can arrange to lay him to rest. It's safe to assume that you're fairly certain that this is Alpachino, correct? And
Yeah,
at this point, it's just about closure. It's about bringing him home. It's about laying him to rest and being able to at least move towards healing. And also, we want the truth. We want a thorough investigation. We want to know who is responsible, and whoever is responsible, whoever has been quiet, to come forward and tell the truth about what really happened. Because when you think about it, there's no way that Al Pacino rented this so-called raft by himself and went across somewhere he doesn't know where he's going. Somebody has to be involved in transporting him. More than one person, in my opinion. You mentioned these Indian people that showed up at the house. There's all of these things and all of these people that need to be brought in and questioned, whoever is involved.
yes.
What would you like to say in closing to everybody that's listening, everybody that's watching? What do you ultimately want to see happen?
I want to see justice. I want to see justice for my son. I want the truth to come out. I just don't want it to be another black guy, a black youth from a different country wants to run off to a different country, because it's not like, he was in need and he was suffering or struggling. You understand? It's just that him listen to the wrong voice. You understand? And I want to also tell persons that have been on this journey with me, from the beginning to still, it's not the end yet because we have not gotten the result or getting the evidence of what is needed to be gotten from this. I just want to tell them thanks. Thanks to the persons that have reached out, that have stand with me in this time, trying to push things a little bit further, a little faster than normal, to get things going. Because if it was just on my own strength alone, I don't think I will be where it is right now. I mean, there are times when, it really, reality kick in again, and where I'll be like breaking down, crying, just, continue to cry. But I know with God in the midst of this, I know that victory shall be my portion. And I know that the tears that I've cried and prayers that have gone up concerning my son, I know that God is going to give me victory in this time and in this season. So I just want to take the opportunity also to tell each and every person, thanks. Thanks for your support. Thanks for reaching out. Thanks for your prayers. Thank you for the word of encouragement. And thank you for always try to check to see what is happening with this case, and with prayer, God answers prayer and all things are possible with him through this. And we are just trusting God for victory in this time and in this season.
Thank you so much, Meshanda. We are going to be praying with you, for you. And as I said, we will continue to lean on and press on law enforcement to get the DNA results and get some answers.
Thank you very much, Emma, for having me here to hear my story and hear my cry.
There are far too many holes in this story. As you hear from Alpachino's mother, Meshanda, she's saying that he was a very trustworthy person. So if he ended up going down to this river in Niagara-on-the-Lake, he would have gone with somebody that he knows and trusts. The theory that he just rented a raft and went across the river to get to the other side to meet up with his girlfriend doesn't make any sense. He's not from Canada. How would he know where he's going? Who would he have rented it from? There are other people involved in this that the police don't seem to be investigating from what I am seeing and hearing. We also can talk about the person who called Meshanda and said that he was going to slit Alpachino's throat and throw him in the river. So the fact that the reports say that Alpachino was found washed up to shore in the Niagara River suggests that there is foul play here. And again, there are people that need to be questioned. Alpachino wasn't alone in this. He does not know Canada. He does not know the Niagara area. He wouldn't know where to go to get to this river, wherever this track is. I'm a Niagara resident and I don't know where that is. So for somebody who's not from here, he must have had help if in fact he was going across that river. And then there's the point of his friend speaking to him the following morning at 7 a.m. after the girlfriend contacted Meshanda to say he's not answering his phone. So the question begs, where was he at 7 a.m.? Because his best friend talked to him. Did he get across? Was he still in Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario? There are so many questions. And finally, we need the DNA results. They are saying it's going to take a few months. Although she is very confident that this is her son, we still want these results and we want a thorough investigation. We just can't accept that we're going to rule this out as another missing Black youth that just was planning to take off because life wasn't good where he was living. That's not actually the case. He had a great relationship with his mother. So he came to Canada for one purpose and one purpose alone, which was to play rugby. And yes, there was plans to meet up with the girlfriend, but I am quite certain he wasn't trying to flee Canada or flee Jamaica. So that narrative, we're not going to accept. We want answers. Meshanda wants answers. She wants to be able to lay her son to rest and be able to heal and move on. And she can't do that until she gets answers. So I'm appealing to the police to please open this case and do a thorough investigation. Additionally, I have provided the GoFundMe link in the description field. If people can please help Meshanda She requires assistance so that she can bring her son home once she's able to do so. So we need to support Meshanda and surround her with love and light and positivity. She's a wonderful person. She's a lovely woman, a spiritual, God-fearing woman who just wants closure. So we're praying for Meshanda, and I also thank her very much again for sitting with me and being candid and honest and sharing her story. It can't possibly be easy. Let me know what you all think about this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this content. Also, don't forget to download the African Diaspora News app. You can grab it at the Google or Apple store or head over to africandiasporanews.org and download it there. You'll have access to content you won't see here or anywhere else, so you want to download that app. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Black Experience with Emma Ansah. Until next time, please be safe, everyone.